Hello, this is Miss Anderson, and this is Fact and Opinion Lesson 1. You should only be completing this lesson if you have already completed a whole separate set of lessons. Remember that we are looking for accuracy in all elements of these lessons and not just the notes that we are doing together. Let's start with those notes, however. Fact and opinion is something that we've seen before, so it should sound vaguely familiar. We know that a fact is something that can be checked and proved. An opinion is a statement of what someone feels, thinks, or believes. An opinion cannot be proved. So let's remember, a fact can be proved, an opinion cannot be proved. We use these tips to tell fact from opinion. First, we look for statements that include information that can be checked and proved, such as dates, places, and statistics. If the information is included, like dates, places, and statistics, these are likely facts. In order to identify an opinion, we should ask ourselves if the statement is about what someone feels, thinks, or believes. If this is the case, these are things that cannot be proven and are therefore opinions. As we read, we look for clue words that may signal opinions. For example, the verbs feel, think, believe, may, might, should, could, and seems often signal opinions. Adjectives, and I remember that an adjective is a word that describes a noun. So adjectives such as good, best, bad, pretty, and funny often signal opinions. So these are both clue words that help us with opinions. Let's think about it and practice. We're going to read each sentence below and look for the facts and opinions. As I'm reading, I'm going to look for some clue words. The sculptor, James Corbett, became an artist after he started working in the car recycling business in 1999. When he saw a trophy made of gear sticks, he thought he could make something better. I see a couple of clues here. I saw this 1999. This was a clue where it tells me that because it's mentioning a date, it's probably something that can be proven. So there's a fact in there somewhere. And then this idea, better, right? Better is one of those adjectives. Even though it's not one of the ones listed here, it's an adjective that maybe signals an opinion. Let's look at the questions now. Number 1, which statement can be proved? Okay, I found this clue word about things that can be proved, so I'm looking for a fact. If it can be proved, I'm looking for a statement that is a fact. So I see two statements here. The sculptor James Corbett became an artist after he started working in the car recycling business in 1999. And our second statement, when he saw a trophy made of gear sticks, he thought he could make something better. So I saw this date here, 1999. This means that I can probably look it up and decide if I can prove it. Did James Corbett become an artist after he started working in the car recycling business in 1999? I can probably find that out by looking it up. So the first statement is a statement that could be proven. Our second one, what clue words do you see? We saw two different clue words in here. We saw 1999. That was a clue about the fact. But the main clue word I think they're looking for was that second one we underlined, better. Better signals that there's an opinion in there. So what was James Corbett's opinion? James Corbett's opinion was that he thought he could make a better statue or the better trophy than the one made of gear sticks. So he thought he could make a better trophy. Okay, let's move on and learn our new reading strategy. This is monitor and clarify. When you monitor and clarify, you check to make sure that you understand what you are reading. To monitor your understanding, you stop to think about what the author is saying as you read. We've talked about this before. You want to be able to process it. You make sure you understand the ideas in the text by relating them in your own words. Restating them, not relating, restating them. This is a really helpful strategy. If you're able to restate something that's being read or that you are reading, that really helps your processing of it and you really know how to do it. To clarify, go back and reread parts of the passage that are giving you trouble. Excellent strategies. So while you're reading, you think about it. At the end, you can restate it. And to clarify, you reread parts of it. Let's go on now to the next page. Here we're going to read the passage. Use the notes on the side to help you. Then answer the questions on the next page. So I see that the notes in the margins have me looking for clue words that signal an opinion, monitoring, so asking ourselves if what we're reading makes sense, and clarifying, rereading parts of the text that seem unclear or confusing. So we'll do those things as we're reading. Car part art. The sculpture is a metal squirrel. Its toes are screws, and its long tail is a knot of rusted tubes. The short wires of its ears stick straight up. Shiny bolts and other pieces of metal form its body. I'm trying to visualize this in my head. The squirrel seems tense. It looks like it's about to run away. Some people may wonder if this squirrel is art. Why? It is made of old car parts, but it is amazingly lifelike. All right, this word amazingly, I think, is a clue word here because it is signaling an opinion. It's an adjective, so it's someone's idea of whether or not it's lifelike or not. So I know so far that there is this sculpture that's a metal squirrel, and it's made out of kind of old metal parts. All right, it's like posed in a position where it's about to run away. See how I'm restating this as I'm reading it. Let's keep going. The sculptor, James Corbett, became an artist after he started working in the car recycling business in 1999. He saw a trophy made of gear sticks and thought he could make something better. Again, we found this word, better, signals opinion. So he began collecting interesting parts. Interesting parts. Whose decision is it whether or not the parts are interesting? His first sculpture was a race buggy. I'm going to put a little question here. I'm not sure what a race buggy is. I'm hoping they'll clarify that. After that, he built figures of people, bikes, and animals out of car parts. James begins a sculpture by finding the right parts. Then he cleans them and welds them together. He never bends or shapes car parts. Instead, he uses them just as they are. That is what makes each piece of artwork so wonderful. Ooh, this part right here, wonderful. That's definitely a strong adjective. I bet there's an opinion hiding in there somewhere. All right, so I've learned a little bit about James. Now I'm ready to move on to look at the questions. I'll start with these examples. Choose the correct answer. Use the steps at the right to help you answer each question. So our steps first, look for clue words in the answer choices. Oh, first I have to read the question. Which statement is an opinion? A, its toes are screws. B, the squirrel seems tense. C, the sculpture is a metal squirrel. D, the short wires of its ears stick straight up. Now I can look at these step-by-step instructions. So look for clue words in the answers. Well, I see in B, the squirrel seems tense. Now, we didn't talk about this necessarily as a clue word, but this means like it seems tense. So it may not be tense. You can't really prove it, but it appears to be. When things appear to be a certain way, tends to be opinions. Step 2. Ask yourself if any of the choices show thoughts or feelings. Well, I did notice that answer B shows an opinion about the way that the squirrel looks, whereas this is something that can be proven, whether or not they're screws, whether or not it's metal, whether the wires stick straight up. This is the only one that kind of expresses some way that the author thinks or feels. Now, step 3. Check to see if the other answer choices can be proved. Oh, I just kind of did that, didn't I? I can look up information about the sculptor and his art to check these other statements. So remember, its toes are screws. I can look that up. The sculpture is a metal squirrel. I could look that up. The short wires of its ears stick straight up. I could also check that out and find out. This one meets all of our requirements of an opinion, which is what this question was asking. Now we have 4 multiple choice questions for you to work on. You should follow these same 3 steps. Look for the clue words, ask yourself about whether or not they show thoughts or feelings, and then check to see if the other answer choices can be proved. Here we go. Number 1. This statement, "It is amazingly lifelike," is an opinion because... Number 2. Which statement is a fact? Number 3. The idea that James's first sculpture was a race buggy is a fact because... And number 4. Which statement is an opinion? Make sure you're keeping straight which is a fact and which is an opinion. I'll add a little notes here, right? Fact equals can prove. Okay? Opinion equals cannot prove. Right? So I'm going to say no proving in opinions. All right. Good luck on questions 1 through 4. Make sure that you are using all of the strategies and answering these questions with integrity. If you've answered all 4 of these questions, you are now ready to move forward to lesson 2. If you needed some clarity, if these questions were hard for you, then I would recommend going back and reviewing some of the concepts that you just learned. Otherwise, go ahead and seek out lesson 2 and turn to the next page in your packet.